What's up, everybody? It's Make It Make Sense. Tonight we're talking Foxhole. Like the video as the intro plays because we got a lot to get into.
Make it make sense to me intellectually.
What I love about Mims, Make It Make Sense. He's a YouTuber. He gets the court record, so he gets the cases.
Make it make sense. You knew what was up. And don't you forget that.
I'm so sorry.
I'm supposed to feel sorry for that bitch. I don't.
Big Mims! Surfer.
Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things in your dream. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things in your dream. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense.
This woman obviously had lost her damn mind. She needs psychotropic medication. She pulls out her breasts and she's juggling them. Look like she's about to fall over. Stripping down butt naked, bending over and showing everything on the video, and all you could see was cellulite hanging in pubic hair. This is a disgrace and a shame.
A nasty, vile gutter snipe right about the
Gutter snipe, straight out the hood. Okay, so the reason that we're doing this video as an open panel is because, you know, I told you guys I would be mixing things up. I had a couple subscribers, including Bonji, let me know that it was time for a panel. A lot of you guys watch Foxhole. A lot of you guys watch Foxhole when Funky Dineva was a part of it. You have stuff to say. And this channel, you have every right to feel however you feel, because we now know that I take no joy in saying that Foxhole is canceled. Claudia confirmed it yesterday. She says, unfortunately, TGIF, I'm sorry, I keep saying Foxhole, but I mean TGIF. I just always associate Foxhole with TGIF. So that's my mistake. But TGIF will not be returning to Foxhole after our hiatus. 2019 to 2024 would have run. Soulmates, I love you, and you already know I'll never stop pushing to give you all more shows in the future. Armon also had something to say. He says, honestly, I want to tell my side, but something tells me in my spirit it's going to backfire and be used against me. Many people have their mind made up, so I may just leave it all at that. Believe what you want to believe. This says, Claudia did all them lives, interviews, and played in the comment section since for the past 3 weeks now. Now 30 plus people ain't got no job. Somebody had something nice to say about Claudia. I just can't believe this. Thank you, Claudia, for being such a great advocate for women, especially Black women. Love you. Everybody on this show had an active fan base. Let me tell you how I really, really feel about this. Okay, so I was around 2 weeks ago, if you were here and I said Foxhole would be canceled, I let you guys know that the show was put on a bit of a pause, and the higher ups were going to determine sometime in early July whether or not the show would continue. And I said, I really hope that they did whatever they needed to do to make sure that they continued with the show. I've had people in my DMs kind of telling me, you know, people have not been citing me as the source of that information. I'm okay with that. It is what it is. How they got the information and disseminated it, it is what it is. That does not put money in my pocket. What I will say is thank you for the straight shooters who be in everybody's chat letting me know what's going on. That's fine. I hate that this happened, but now we are here. And basically just what I said happened or could potentially happen, happened. And it happened in a way that I did not want it to happen. I do feel like Foxhole was really strong when it was Al, Claudia, and Funky. And I'm feeling like Foxhole should have just paid him his extra money. And I'm feeling like whatever backbiting things any or all of them were doing, you should have just drank your what does he drink? Butterball? That's a turkey. Buttery rum, buttery wine, whatever. That buttered whatever. The buttered whatever he drinks. Claudia with whatever she drinks, and Funky with whatever he was drinking for the night. They should have just did like most coworkers. Dislike each other in your heart and in your spirit, but at the potluck, everything looks all good. Buttery Chardonnay. Anyway, Armon did kind of have a few things to say. We all know that Claudia did a major interview with Carlos King where she kind of played it safe because at that point, they were still negotiating whether the show would continue. Armon, shout out to T Jones TV. See how easy it is to cite people? T Jones TV caught Armon on a live where he kind of talked about it. So we're going to go through this just a little bit, but then I'm going to be dropping the link. And you guys, whether you love Claudia, hate Claudia, love Al, hate Al, love Armon, hate, whatever you feel, you'll be able to say. Just don't be cursing on my channel. I know a lot of you guys watch the show because I would be in the chat trolling them like I always do. I troll people I like. And I would see you guys in there. So this is what Armon had to say. Initially, he said he was going to be doing a statement this morning, but he changed his mind on that.
But all I ask of you is this. If the roast ended the show, why did everybody get fired? Why not just fire me? I was the newest person there. If the roast ended the show, why not just fire me?
All three were fired. Armon, I do not feel like the roast that you did completely ended the show. But I do think that it was probably the icing on the cake for the end of the show. And I think that it brought HR issues, which I told you guys, it brought HR issues to the forefront and it brought HR issues to the audience. So, I mean, the show is over now. We're not talking like accountability. I don't think that what Armon did ended the show. There's no way that he could be there for that short amount of time and end the show. But I do think that it played some part in bringing, basically Fox Soul needed no more negative anything. After Funky.Neva left and it was like a shuffle of different hosts that they were testing and all that, they needed something to go off without a hitch. And whatever was said, whether somebody fed it to Armon or these were Armon's own thoughts and feelings, they should have remained between Armon and HR, not Armon and the audience. But I don't think that he was responsible for taking the show down. I think that they had a lot of internal issues dating back to probably, pre-Funky leaving, and things just came to a head and they all got fired. I'm telling you, a job where I don't have to take my clothes off and I don't have to go see a priest to confess my sins for $250 and 5 hours of work, sign me up. Sign me up. Who's Armon? Armon is a pretty big YouTuber. I think Armon is about to hit 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. He's solidified in the YouTube space. He talks about everything. He's a commentator, but his area of expertise is really like hip hop. He does a lot with the female rappers. I think he knows Cardi B and Nicki Minaj or something like that. So definitely, he wants y'all to know he's not fired. He still has a job working his YouTube. And if you can definitely find him on the Armon Wiggins show on YouTube. Check him out.
So you do that math equation. Y'all be on the lookout. Support these videos that I'm promoting, these Black promoters, these Black Pride promoters. If you're LGBTQ, New York City, stand up. Y'all show so much love. I love y'all. And be outside this weekend. So again, I'm not getting into it on here because why would I do that? I'm about to monetize my own story. I'm not gonna do it for everybody to monetize my shit. Yeah, I know. I mean, y'all know the game. I mean, shit, I need a job. I need all my coins now, bitch. No, for real. But just a little food for thought. If it was the roast, why didn't they just fire me? That's it. That's it. That's it. That's all. Until you.
That's a good point. Do I think that Foxhole is going to start over? I think if Foxhole put together one woman and two men, I think it would not be, I don't think that would be the right move, to be honest with you. I think that Foxhole, if the Foxhole channel is going to survive, they're going to need to revamp, because the other things on that channel outside of TGIF, at least for YouTube, because one other thing that people do not understand is Foxhole is seen on 7 different platforms. It's not just YouTube. So when people are like, oh, the views were down, that's only one aspect. They weren't making that amount of money paying producers and still having leftover money for the higher ups with just YouTube money. They had ad revenue. And I heard somebody say recently that they were losing ads. That's not the case. The bottom line is these were major. Now, this is me talking to you guys directly. These were major HR issues. And that's really what it boils down to. These were HR issues that we all got to be a part of. Guys, we got over 2,000 in the chat. Definitely hit that like button. I am going to be dropping the link.
Who's pretending you don't a smart ass
or like June position, or and then show, of course. I'm used to that though. I work with comedians, we talk big shit and then we like laugh about shit later. But this is different. It's different. And I don't get the grace a lot of people get. Like when I cry.
Oh, sorry.
It's like, oh, here she goes. She's being a victim. Mulatto tears and all this other shit. Like no one has like empathy when I get like this. Like I see online, like some people will be like, oh, wow. But then others, like, I think people think I have my life so good that I don't deserve grace. Like, oh, you're good. You rich, or you got this, you got that. Fuck your feelings, basically, what it feels like. But I'm a real person that just wants the same consideration I give others. I just want like some kind of loyalty. Some kind of like, don't maybe say fuck Claudia to someone that's like my op. You know what I mean? Or when we're still gotta go, I gotta be on TV with you and be cool and smile. And I've had to do that many times throughout the years and just suck it up, you know? And there's never like I just feel like I can get used for opportunities, and then like my friendship part of me can be thrown away, which is why you still benefit for what I can do for you, you know? And that's happened to me several times in my life where I'm good enough to like be a look for you, relationship wise, or be intimate with, or get you to meet this producer, or put you in position, or help you sell. I've helped so many people, but then I feel like I'm worth to you what I can give you. But then where is the consideration for me as a human and as your friend or as a human? Like, I feel like I'm easily disposable to some people once they can get what they can get. And that fucking hurts. It hurts. Because people like you, we had our fight, and I could have been mad at you, but
I didn't know that Claudia and Carlos King had a fight. We're going to get into some more things because our mom was tweeting up a storm, and then our mom was tweeting up a storm, and Al's associate was responding, and it got hot. It's been a lot of stuff going on, people. Sabra, thank you so much for the super sticker. Booty butter, buttery. Buttery booty butter is what it is. Thank you for the super chat. Who is Booty Butter? Who is this person? Pretty Black Girl says, I feel bad because I thought this was a publicity stunt set up by Claudia to increase viewership. Sadly, there was really unresolved tension. Guys, you know, I always tell you, you know, allegedly, but when I'm telling you that I'm getting something directly from sources on the scene, you know, that's just what it is. This was definitely not a setup. I told you guys specifically that the higher ups are going to make a decision. They just made the decision that I wish that they had not. But there's always going to be a toss-up. Cancellation was part of the conversation. Thank you for the super chat. Liberia Rose says, fun fact, Star Jones also works for Fox and is up for an Emmy. You're so messy. You are messy. And I like that. Negla says, what you been doing for change, Mims? Look, when you show, I just came to dance. That's it. I just came to dance. I told y'all that I tried to get for my high school quote. I tried to put, you got to use what you got to get what you want. And they were okay with it. I went to a school where, you know, they did not know where the hell I got that from. And somebody ratted me out and told like the high, you know, the administration that was from the Players Club, and they made me change it. But my high school quote in the yearbook was going to be, you got to use what you got to get what you want. Lisa, I don't know. Booty Butter is a name of one of the straight shooters. Booty Butter is a subscriber. We don't know who Booty Butter is, but they definitely support the channel. The show had tension before Funky left. Okay, so let's see. So these are some of the things that Armon was saying. It says, you don't have to wait until I respond to tell the truth. Just tell it. Oh, hold on. Let me see. Hold on. It says, you don't have to wait until I respond to tell the truth. Just tell it you've been talking. And then Sean says, we gonna wait and see how y'all respond, but you know better, Armon. This ain't right. And then Sean says, Claudia told us on the internet you was tussling with blank, blank, blank. And then you told Joyce. And when was confronted, lied and said, Al said it. And then the gloves came off. Am I lying? And then somebody named Plato says, Armon, a sexy and Iggy Azalea collab. So they are not paying attention. But 22,000 people saw that. Now, I don't know if these are still up, but 22,000 people saw those tweets. So this was some mess. Tussling with blank. And then you told Joyce. So does that mean that they were all in some type of HR stuff? It's a lot. It's a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. We're not going to do it like, we're going to do it where everybody gets, you know, maybe like a minute, 2 tops or whatever to kind of say how you feel. This is no holds barred. And Fox Soul people, if you happen to be watching this one, maybe we'll get some definitive answers about bringing the show back. I don't know, but the link has been dropped. Anybody is welcome to come up, share their opinion, share their thoughts. If you were a fan of the show and you missed the show, that's fine. You can say it. That's kind of what people need to hear, because people trust me when I tell you that sometimes the Fox Soul people be in the chat. They just stay in the bushes. Sabra?
Yeah.
How do you feel about the scenario? Where are you at with it?
Okay. I worked in a place that's hostile. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Check this out. EEOC and HR complaints are in-house. You're not supposed to be on a social platform blasting people. It's unprofessional. One, you can't blame anybody, but Al caught shots. Then afterward, everyone else started panicking. And it was weird because Claudia was on several YouTuber spots that I know of in her hotel room making off the wall comments about the whole situation. Armon maybe spoke about it once and Al kind of like backed up off it. But it's a legal issue, first of all. And nobody at Fox wants to be hiring lawyers to talk about, oh, you had a cease and desist and not talk about a 20-year-old divorce. Why did you talk about it? And then have to turn around and ask, well, why were you asking co-hosts like Lunel to talk about somebody's sexual orientation? She's called this guy gay. She didn't confirm what he was. She just started talking. I'm like, where's this coming from? And then like the next day, he's getting roasted and they bring up the same thing all over again. Come on. That's heavy-handed. And it's out in public. So basically, you were outing him, saying he was gay, where he may not be gay. He may be bisexual. You don't know how he classifies. It's none of your business. And then you turn around and get offended that he got offended. It makes no sense. So I think Fox did what they needed to do and got rid of everybody. Neither one of these people lived in the same state. So you mean to tell me you idiots couldn't work long enough together to make $250,000 and y'all don't live in the same state? What kind of stupidity are you on?
I hear you. I hear you, Sabra. I hear you. And Sabra clicked off. Sabra was done. Let's see.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. That's right. What she just said. What the lady before me said. They're with each other 7 hours, at most a month, making Claudia and Al making $250. I don't know how much Armon was making, but he wasn't making that much. But they're with each other 7 hours a month, and they make $250. You know, Mims. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it real. Mims, you know more than anybody who is not working for Fox Soul. You know a lot. You know a lot, and you haven't shared a lot of information. You know a lot because I told you. Me and Al was both on your YouTube before, and I was on your YouTube as well. We've been friends for years. You know how close Al and I are. Can we confirm that?
Yes.
Okay. Again, the issue started before Armon came. The issue started when Funky was there. Claudia Jordan, and here's the thing. Claudia Jordan is she has a long documented history of getting fired from jobs. She has a long documented history of workplace toxicity. This is not sensitive to Al Reynolds, Armon, and Fox Soul. This followed her whole career. You could Google it. When Gary on the T was on Tea-GIF, it was 4 of them. Ricky Smiley pulled him off the show because of the conflict that Ricky Smiley was having with Claudia Jordan. Yeah, Ricky Smiley let Gary with the T do a couple of episodes, but he gave Gary with the T an ultimatum and said, you can't do that show and be on my show, so you have to leave. That's why Gary with the T left after 4 episodes of Tea-GIF, because Claudia and Ricky Smiley had a workplace. I think she said that Ricky Smiley sexually accosted her or something like that. You guys can Google it because it's on the internet.
No, I don't know that.
Oh, yeah. Well, we ain't here to talk about that. Then she got fired from the Dallas show. You guys could Google all that stuff about Ricky Smiley and Claudia Jordan. That's on the internet. Then she had the stuff with the Dallas radio show. She got fired from the Fox hole with Jamie Foxx. So she has Real Housewives of Atlanta, The Price is Right. She has a long history of toxicity in the workplace. This is not sensitive to Fox Soul. And maybe it's such a big deal because this is the longest job that Claudia has kept. It's not a gig. This was actually employment for them, for all of them, right? They were clocking in every day. You know what I mean? 7 hours a month, they were clocking in. So this is the longest job that all of them had in entertainment, right? Because they do gig work, right? College Hill's a gig job. You know, Al being a personality, going to Fox DC, going to Fox LA, that's like gig work, right? This was a job where they actually clocked in every day and showed up to work. You know, so you know, let's get that part out there. The second part out there, what I want Armon to do, that's why Armon is responding to me on Twitter. Armon, tell us why you and Al fell out. Tell us why you and Al fell out. That's why Armon is responding to me. And you see Armon is deleting tweets. Tell us why you and Al fell out. I know why you and Al fell out. Mims, you know why Al and Armon fell out. You know what I mean? Let's be real. Armon,
who? Sorry,
you know why Armon and Al fell out, because I told you.
Yeah, I don't put out things that I sometimes I feel like I don't want to tell other people's stories. So
exactly. That's why I'm not saying too much. But stop talking about the shit and tell the whole story. You know what I mean? Tell us. Claudia's talking about she's going to expose like Al and what happened. Yeah, Claudia, do it. I want you to do it. Do it. Because when you expose what happened, you're going to tell on yourself. And it's going to be that you fucking started some shit. Period, point blank. And Mims, I've been telling you about Claudia.
What is the end game? Because I don't have any beef with Claudia. Like, we're just going to be real. I don't have any beef with Claudia. And I appreciate
the end game. The end game is for me to defend my friend, because Al is not going to come up here and Al's not going to play on the internet, because that's not what Al do. That's not Al's style. Al's been a television personality for over 20 years. Al has never been fired from a job. Al has never been walked out of a building he can't walk back into. And I'm not about to let these people beat up my friend. Al is not on the internet. I'm on the internet. So I'm seeing all this shit. And Mims, I talk to you every fucking day or regularly. I've been talking to you about this lady in those workplace roles for the past 4 years. So this is not news, right? The public don't know this, but here we are today talking about it.
Well, you haven't been talking about that for 4 years. Just to
say it again?
You haven't been telling me stuff for 4 years.
How long have I been telling you stuff?
You've not been telling me stuff about Foxo for 4 years. Stop it.
How long have I been telling you stuff?
I think maybe around the time of Funky leaving.
Okay, Funky departure, right? Okay.
Okay,
whatever.
yeah.
But you know more than the general public. You know more than the general public.
I do, but you also know that I don't ever try to destroy anybody. If we're keeping it real, I don't ever try to destroy people, and I really do work to bridge gaps. Is that not?
Yeah, but you know, the truth is the truth too. You know what I mean? And if telling the truth is going to, you know, have you beef with somebody on the internet, then I mean that's a whole other conversation. But the truth is the truth. You know, the truth is the truth, right? And Al is not innocent. You know what I mean? Armon is not innocent. Claudia is not innocent. They all fucking dropped the bag. You know what I mean?
I agree
as I said before, you know, they should have fired somebody from production to give Funky what he was asking for. I said that on here before too. They could have fired Justin. They could have fired Destiny. They could have fired Jerome. Well, Jerome was fired. He just got his job back. They could have fired Destiny or
who's Jerome?
Justin. Jerome. Whatever. He was one of the producers on the show. He's in the comments on everything too. They could have fired one of them, and they could have gave Funky his money. They could have fired production, somebody from production. They could have cut costs on production and gave Funky the job, because obviously production is not doing their job, right? Production is letting things go onto air. Production is, and here's the thing with the Lunel thing. If you look at that clip with Lunel, Claudia was typing to Lunel to ask Al about Star Jones. You can see it on the clip. You can see Claudia looking down, typing to Lunel, because in the way Lunel asked that question about Star Jones, it was like somebody just gave it to her. It wasn't a natural flow of questioning or confrontation, which is neither here nor there. But I'm just saying, like, she don't like Al. She's been very clear publicly why she don't like Al. but they're telling everything but the root of why Al and Armon fell out. And once they tell why Armon and Al fell out and who said what to who, and then blamed it on Al, I think that'll change the public perception. That's why Claudia keeps saying she's going to expose, and have screenshots, put them out. And that's why Armon was responding to me, because Armon know that.
Hold on,
he
Sean.
knows what I said was real.
So
Al's not going to speak for himself.
Is this like a big secret at this point? That's what I'm saying. Is this like a big secret? If Armon is saying he doesn't, necessarily want to talk about it anymore. Claudia says she's going to expose some things. Is it a secret? All of these people are now no longer. Are they no longer? Hold on. Are they no longer affiliated with Fox Soul at all? Is it a wrap? Are they fired from Tea-GIF, or is it possible that they may get their own shows?
They're fired. Over 20 people lost their job.
So they're no longer affiliated. So stuff coming out now does not.
But it's a 1099 position too. So it's a contracting position. So, you do contract work. We all do contract work. It's a 1099. You know what I mean? They could call you back next week. One of the producers was fired and he got called back. Jerome was let go and he was back in the fold. So, it's a 1099 position. So, everybody has been issued a letter of separation or termination, so they could bring him back, right? They couldn't just fire Claudia, or they couldn't just fire Armon. They had to dissolve the whole back end. People keep saying, I'm looking at the comments, people are saying, 20 people, it's 20 people, it's a YouTube show, it's a Zoom show. No, they have Morello on Pico Boulevard is the one that handles the master control, and there's over 20 people. It's over 20 people, that do the production. It's 3 people in production that do the topics and stuff. Is Justin Destiny Dubose, which is James Dubose's daughter, and Justin Hart and Jerome's 3 people in production that works directly for Fox Soul. So 3 people in production that works directly for Fox Soul. I just named those 3 people. And then Morello is the master control. So they are the people who are contracted through Fox Soul. They're the ones who distribute it to, DirecTV Now or Spectrum, YouTube, all the other entities you talked about. Those are the 20 plus people.
So
Morello and Pico.
What is the end game?
What happened?
What is the end game?
The end game, I'm defending my friend because I'm not speaking for Al. Al's probably going to get mad at this when he see this. I don't care. The end game is just to tell the truth. That's the end game. Put it all out. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Let's talk about the origin of why Armon and Al fell out, or why Armon fell out with Al. Let's talk about that.
Are you wanting Claudia to say this? Or are you wanting Armon to say this?
I want them both to say it.
So you're trying to get them or bait them into actually exposing the inner workings of what was going wrong with them as a group. Is that what you're saying?
Talking about it? Yeah, absolutely.
But if they're no longer with the company, and they're probably not going to be with the company, how does that move the conversation along now?
Claudia's going to continue to work. They're all going to continue to work in their respective lanes, right? Claudia is, Claudia's going to continue to do her gig work. Al has all that other shit he has going on anyway. Armon has a YouTube.
So Armon says hold on one second. So Armon says he's not going to say it. Claudia says she's going to say it. Does that mean that once Claudia acknowledges what happened or gives things from her vantage point, you're going to come out and respond?
No, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to let the general public look at what happened, and if she released any screenshots or any emails, great. When she exposes, if she do expose it, it's going to put everything out on the table. Why did Armon fall out with Al? Why did Armon fall out with Al?
Are they okay now? Are Are they on speaking terms now?
No. Armon, Claudia went back and told us something. Joyce, Al, and I, and then Joyce confronted Armon about it. And when Joyce confronted Armon about it, how do you know? Claudia told me, and then Armon confronted Claudia, and Claudia's like, "Well, I got it from Al. I got it from Al. I got it from Al." That was the end of Al and Armon. That's exactly what happened. I'm not about to go into what was said and who told what or whatever, but that's exactly how that happened. That's why Armon, when I tweeted that, Armon did not push back or fight back on it. That's why I was the only person he was talking to on the thing, because he knows it's the fucking truth. And that's why Claudia was tweeting me last week and going crazy on me last week, because she knows that I fucking know. I don't got nothing to lose with these people, so I don't give a fuck, right? But
apparently,
I mean, it is what it is, right? So here's the thing. And Al's not gonna come out, and Al's been professional his whole life, you know, as a public personality and as a private person. Al's not gonna get on the internet and tweet and act a fool. He's not gonna do all that. Al's gonna keep it professional and release a statement that's probably written by a lawyer, and that's gonna be the last we hear about it from Al. Like, let's be for real.
For saying this stuff tonight, are you gonna be in any type of trouble?
With who?
I don't know at this point. I don't like
No.
at this point. What is Nene? I'm just so tired.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
tired.
So
No,
Al got.
Hold on one second. You know that my position with this has always been, I'm a fan of the show. I want them to work it out. I, might know some things, but some things aren't like, I think that they're inconsequential, because to me, a lot of this shit seems really petty. Like, it makes my head hurt when I think of what somebody could do with $250,000 is life-changing kind of money.
Absolutely.
And I feel them being on this show, including Armon, was aspirational for other YouTubers or other people who want to get into that space. This sucks for me, because
absolutely,
I looked at that as a platform. Like, if you can do it and you're three Black people who, just came together. I thought they had a really close friendship. I told you when I met them, I was super excited.
Wait, hold on, because I'm reading the comment. This is why I didn't do this, because I got my own platform and my own shit. Let these people know you know me in real life, and you know me in real life for years, and I'm your real life friend.
Sean is in the industry, definitely. Sean is a part of the industry. Sean and I don't agree on a lot, but yes, Sean is a friend. Yeah. And Sean does know the inner workings, but even with things that, because y'all are getting like the real, even with things that are told to me, I don't choose to distribute everything. I could know somebody passed away and not profit off of it. There's a lot of things that I don't do. I run my channel differently. Sean and I have had we've had arguments because I'm not going to do certain things. And although Sean might be in the know, I don't have any beef with Claudia. I appreciate the fact that Claudia and Al both spoke to try to even get me a week on Fox Soul. So I don't have, you know what I mean? Like, that's not me. But that doesn't mean that I don't give people a platform to speak their feelings, which is what we're all about to do. And I can guarantee you, after this conversation, Sean, the things that these people are in the back were about to say have all changed. Oh my God.
I mean, they don't have a job, so was it worth it? And $250,000 is life-changing money for everybody. You know what I mean? And just to be affiliated with number one, Fox Soul is a vanity iteration or a vanity platform for Fox. Fox had to clean up their image, anti-Black, anti-Democrat, So Fox Soul is a vanity project for Fox, right? The network is not dissolving. That's the first part, right? So let's just get that out. But the second part of it is, you know, all three of them, everybody, even production, should have put their differences aside, and they should have fucking just went. They were working for 7 hours a fucking month, 7 hours a month.
Now
And
that's something I agree on.
It's childish. It's childish. But you know, again, we got to look at history of people. We can't ignore the history of Al. We can't ignore the history of Claudia. We can't ignore the history of Armon. Whatever that means, I'm gonna let your people viewing to take that into interpretation. You know. So let's just look at the tangible evidence. I could say whatever I want to say, right?
You do have that freedom.
It could be true or not true, right? But one thing is for sure is what you could research and look up for yourself, right? Again, separately, they fucking the week before the shit hit the fan, they took our show that we do on YouTube, the Court of Public Opinion, and I told you about that already. I don't know if the public knows this or not, but they told Al not to talk about his YouTube on air, and then they fucking took the fucking YouTube that Al and I do and incorporated it into the show. Just little stupid shit like that. You know what I mean? Al was suspended for defending Nene Leakes. I don't know if you guys remember that back in the day. That was right before Halloween. He was suspended for defending Nene Leakes because Claudia got on there and kind of made a joke about the girls only sending Nene flowers or some shit after Greg died.
We're going off the rails.
Oh yeah, because I'm trying to timeline everything for everybody because people are approaching this from either Funky Dineva departure or they're approaching it from Armon June 15th. They're not encapsulating the complete history, and you know, I think when you kind of look at the whole thing, you're kind of like, oh, okay, but goes back to the Star Jones sending the cease and desist, you know, 2 years ago. It's the whole thing that people are missing. Everybody who approached this on YouTube and in the blogs and shit have approached it from December when Funky left, December 20th, or June 15th when Armon came on. That's the timeline where everybody's starting at, you know, and you got to look at the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Okay. I don't feel and I've said this and I meant it when I said it. I don't think the needle is going to move in any one direction. It doesn't matter. Like at this point, we're just going to be real. Although you just said that they were all at fault, people are always going to view the things that you say as skewed because of your relationship.
My relationship with Al. That's why when Tasha K was trying to get me to come on and hit me up, what's up, Jason? Jason worked for Tasha K. They was hitting me up, you know, trying to get me on the show and shit like that. I was like, no matter what I say,
Hey, right now hates Claudia.
Exactly. I was like, no matter what they say, if
hold on, if you are a Claudia Jordan fan, nothing that Sean has said has moved you in any one direction. If you started watching Fox Soul because you are an Armon Wiggins fan, it's not going to move the needle. And
all those people that came in with Armon Wiggins, came in with Al is sunning Armon. Al's calling him boy. Al's calling him boy. Al was calling him boy. Al was calling Funky boy. You know, Al was quote unquote sunning Funky when Funky was on the show for the past 3-4 years. And that wasn't the narrative at all because those people knew the show. Right. But when Armon came on, Armon brought his fans, which you're supposed to do. And they were like, Al is mean. Al is sunning Armon. Al is sunning Armon. Al is sunning Armon. So those people that came in with Armon didn't watch the show for the past 3-4 years.
There will always be some growing pains when you get somebody new to a group that's already established. I'm not going to lie. I thought that Armon has a point of view that I don't necessarily agree with a lot of times, but I think that point of view needs to be heard. When I watched Fox Soul, there were things that I felt were kind of like adversarial, but I liked that. It was a tug and a pull.
Yeah, and I told you privately a million times. I told you privately And Al told you we wanted Armon on the show. Al got a video on his YouTube advocating for Armon, publicly still there. You know, we wanted Armon on the show. Nobody has a fucking problem with Armon. I gotta see this nigga every day. I live in LA with Armon. I live in LA with Armon. We ain't got no beef with Armon. If Armon, I don't have a problem with Armon. I don't have a problem with Armon. You know what I mean? It's the situation what happened. That roast was not cool. You brought back of the house shit to the public, and that was that, right? But like when we look at, and I don't think Al is mad at Armon. Al is mad at Armon for the roast.
Sean,
but I don't
hold on. But. So let me talk to the subscribers really quick. If we were watching Carlos King and Claudia is going to give her vantage point. Sean is not just Al's friend, right? Like there's business ties there. So I don't think, because I don't technically really know Al, but from what I do know of Al, he chooses to be very professional. What we saw was professionalism when the roast happened, and what we saw after the roast when he called Funky was kitchen table talk. Sean is basically doing what I'm assuming Claudia will be doing on Carlos King's channel soon, because now they no longer have a job. But you know, like I said, and like I've said to you in private, I don't think this moves the needle.
Oh, it absolutely doesn't. The people who like Claudia. The people who like Armon, and the people who like Al. It's not cool.
Yes, but I do think, for me, and if any of them see this, I really did want it to work out. I really wanted to see 3 Black people who might have had a skirmish or whatever work it out. I am not the person to expose shit like that and inner workings. That's your story.
Even if you work at Taco Bell, you can't. If you work at Taco Bell, you can't.
Yeah,
that's shit.
I'm not gonna be. I can't be up here all night. Sean, I got like a really full backstage. Maybe you can come back on the next open panel
after Al releases his statement. I'll come back.
After Al releases his statement.
Yeah, because we could talk about that after. Yeah, people see the comments is crazy, right? I'm looking at the comments. I'm just like,
Al does have a fan base. Al definitely has a fan base, but so does Claudia, so does Armon, and so does Funky. That's why any iteration of that group outside of Funky was going to be met with resistance, because Funky was an integral part of that group. Just like Claudia became the voice of Black women in that group.
She's the face of Fox Soul.
Funky was basically, Funky's really smart. Like, people don't see that because a lot of people don't like him, but Funky's a very intellectual person, but he's also very funny. And Al brought a sense of professionalism, and, you know, he's a very degreed individual. It worked. It worked for a lot of years. But unfortunately, the show is over now. And this panel is for people who are fans who want to kind of like say goodbye to the show. So, Sean, definitely, you are always welcome on my channel. I do appreciate you. Sean does have a point of view, but I report what I choose to report on my channel.
Because let me say this before I go. You know more than the general public.
I know more than the general public about a lot of stuff.
And because I told you, I don't know about that.
I don't know about everything that you told me.
Let's not do that.
I'm talking about. I know a lot about a lot. I have exclusivity on a lot of different things.
Let me say this.
You're talking about specifically.
Yeah. You know,
but I'm saying I report what I want to report on my channel. Right?
Yeah.
I do. We're having an open conversation. We just happen to have 3,800 people watching live, but I do report what I want to report, and I'm not a channel who tries to destroy people. I just don't.
Yeah, you're positive. We'll see. Just
Not we'll see. We said wait a little while.
And this was what I was really curious about. I'm like, Claudia's been in the game for so long. She don't have people telling her like, how, like Al's not speaking.
This is the kind of people who I'm talking to. Cheryl says, I'm sad. I watch this show every night. That's the conversation that I want to have. I don't.
Oh yeah, we're coming back. So, it's probably not going to be on Tea-GIF or Fox Soul, but we always got something cooking. So, you guys will be fed again. You guys are going to be fed, but you guys are going to be fed between Al, Funky. I'm sorry. You guys are going to be fed between Al, Armon, and Claudia. Claudia go keep a gig. Armon is, the prince of YouTube, and Al got a lot of things in the works. So you guys are, whoever want to be fed will continue to, eat. You know what I mean?
Thank you for ending it on a positive note.
Yeah.
He's passionate because this affects him too, but we'll get into that later. Thank you so much, Sean, for coming up.
Look at everybody looking there. People are. I'm about to get death threats tonight.
Well, no.
Oh my God. Let me get my security.
This is the straight shoot.
I mean, I thought this was a nice place. I could have went to Tasha K.
Nice place.
If I want to get jumped. If I want to get jumped in the comments, I could have went to Tasha K.
Oh, Jesus.
And I would have had my AK with me. But I'm looking at these comments and I'm like, these people are throwing tomatoes. These people are calling me Al's husband.
Well, because I told you this is my platform has Funky Daniva fans, has Claudia fans, has Al fans, and has Armon fans. Like, technically, I say this all the time, Black YouTube should be a place where we all like get together, work together, and help push.
You call me a clout chaser. A clout chaser would have been me dropping my YouTube and me dropping my
Sean,
shit.
Don't read the comment.
Hold on, I'm about to go live now.
Okay, Sean.
I'm joking. All right, you guys have fun.
Goodbye. He is playing. Goodbye.
Right, bye.
Oh, y'all. This was unexpected. Chanel, you are up.
Hey, Mims, I think you are an American detective, and I appreciate you on YouTube with your objectivity.
I tried.
I just listen. You got a lot more patience than me, but I just say don't listen. What is it called? Service announcement. Like, just don't tell Sean none of your business. Is all I'm gonna say, because he not gonna be able to keep your secrets. Is all I'm saying. But I just want to say this. I didn't watch Tea-GIF or what is that? What it was called, right? Tea-GIF or something. Yeah. I didn't watch it every single day because who has time to watch it every single day? But I did like all of the parties. Like, I really only knew about Claudia and Al because I knew Al from The View, if that makes sense, from what's that lady name? His ex-wife or whatever. But I liked all of them together. I think,
Star?
What did I do? Did I say something?
No. Star Jones. That's what you're
Star. Sorry. Yeah. My bad. Sorry. But I didn't notice Armon guy. I just want to say this. Like, I just feel like a lot of times people want to blame whoever. And I just feel like we all grown people. All of these people, I don't know the Funky guy, but I assume they all over like 35. Mm-hmm. So at this point, you a whole grown adult. So we're not blaming other people for why we're not employed anymore. Just go make your next move. That's just how I see it. I just feel like it's so lowbrow, not necessarily what you're doing because you're on YouTube, right? This is part of your job. But what I'm saying is, if y'all have a real job somewhere with a W-2, not a 1099 or whatever it is he was saying, I'm just saying, shout out to the people with the 1099. But if you have a real job with like a HR department and all that kind of stuff, it's just, you need to keep your mouth shut and keep it moving. And you don't have to talk about who you are. It's sort of like, I feel like what he was doing, no shade to him, but I feel like part of it was, if you're beautiful, you don't have to run around talking about how beautiful you are. If you're Bill Gates, we all know he's a billionaire. Is he running around the earth talking about how much of a billionaire he is? It's just like, let your beauty, let the work you do speak for you. I don't need whoever else to do it. But God bless him. He's Al's not what do you call it? Like, he's his friend. So shout out to him. But I do feel this way. I want to say this one last thing about Claudia. I don't know her and I don't know none of these people, but I just don't understand why that lady seems to always get blamed for everything. I'm just saying my perspective. It just seems that way.
Chanel, you don't have to explain. I did this so that everybody could come up and say how they feel. It's a hot topic, you know, and everybody has an opinion. So you don't have to, you know, explain. Have your opinion. It's okay.
I appreciate it. I just feel like I really hope none of them. I really do hope. I think the respectable thing to do would be just y'all all go have a drink somewhere. If you have differences and y'all can't work it out, then it is what it is. You're not gonna, at some point, certain relationships are gonna come to an end. It just is what it is. Whoever thought Nene and Cynthia wasn't gonna be friends? You know what I'm saying? Like, everything plays out. I just wish this didn't play out so publicly in a negative way. I just want everybody to stop letting Carlos King use them. Like, stop giving him an exclusive. Get on your own YouTube channel. No shade, but I'm just saying that man continues. I'm waiting for Kenya to come over there. I'm like, Kenya, no girl, come to Chanel's reality or go to Make It Make Sense, or somebody that's gonna be objective about it. Like, you know, that can look at all of it and not just in one person's.
I have had way too much Casamigos for this night. Okay.
Sorry. Listen.
No, I always know these open panels are going to be crazy because the straight shooters were crazy. I'm a little crazy. So I expect it. I didn't expect everything I just got just now, but that's okay too.
I wonder, was he drinking a Casamigos or had a few before he got on here? Because
no, that's just Sean.
Oh, that's just him? Oh, okay. Well, God bless his soul. We're gonna all send up a prayer for him too. Because listen. No. He worked for Tea-GIF too. It seemed like that's what he's
no. I think he's actually a business associate of Al.
Oh, he just had too much to drink. That's what I'm gonna go with. He just
I don't think he had too much to drink. I think that so
that's him in reality.
I feel like, and this is me giving it to you guys as straight as possible. I feel like when we saw Claudia go on multiple channels, it was like a mad dash to fix things that were broken. That's just how I feel. With Sean, I feel like he probably knows a lot of the inner workings of things with Al. And if you know that your friend is going to stay professional and you know that you can get rowdy, like Sean is effectively a troll and he will put out what he wants to put out. That, you know, he can do that.
But here's the thing. That's why I say I like the fact that you can keep it objective. I cannot like Funky, and I don't like him or not like him. It doesn't matter one way or the other with me. I like the three of them together. I think they all gave unique perspectives. But even if I don't like him per se, I could still say I agree with you on this one topic, or I think you made sense on this one other thing. I could not like Claudia and still work with her. That's what you do as an adult. You know what I'm saying? You don't even have to be at work. You could be at home with your mom and your sister and really hate your sister. I'm just saying, but you could still love that person or love them from afar. I get what you're saying though. Sean, listen, God bless Sean. I'm gonna pray for him. Listen.
I'm from the South. I know what God bless Sean is, but I got a very long
thing backstage. Make sense.
Thank you, Chanel's reality. I appreciate you coming up.
Bye, everyone.
Negla, you're up. And I can see, Negla is one of the few people whose faces I can see from the backstage. And go ahead and give it to us, Negla. You're muted. You got to unmute yourself.
You've been seeing my reactions, man. I love you. Like, he was talking and I was like, man, hold on. This it totally, man. First of all, man, you know I love you. You know I was in the other chat earlier with Scotty.
Okay.
And then I was in the chat with mommy in her car.
Oh,
Lord, you know, Lord blessings. Look, I ain't got nothing else to do.
I'm tired. What do you like? Were you a fan of Fox Soul, Negla?
So this is my thing. I was not a fan of Fox Soul only because I was never a fan of Claudia's. Additionally, I am a fan of Star, or sort of kind of a fan of Star Jones. Okay. So, you know, and not that I disrespect anything that Al does or anything like that. That's the life choice that she made. And she, you know, was in love with him or whatever. But I just think that It all needed to be disbanded. I additionally think with Claudia, that interview that she gave with Carlos was just really like the whole thing. He's like, oh, and your feet are so lovely. No, they're not. Because I'll call normal. Okay, I spell her name Clawdia because you already remember from Real Housewives of Atlanta, and they show her feet.
Oh, you don't like Claudia? Okay.
I don't care for Claudia. Okay, I really don't. But that's not to say that I don't that I don't respect her as a business person.
She has a hustle.
Exactly, and she gonna stay getting checks. With Candy, I don't care for Candy, but she gonna stay getting checks. I don't have a problem with that. My problem has to do with the fact that you have to diminish other people to make your star shine. That's where I have the problem.
Who are you talking about, Negla?
Claudia. So and I'm also talking about, well, now with Carlos, he was just doing an interview with his friend and fluffing her up. But with her, that's who I really have the problem with. And again, with Carlos, or not with Carlos, I'm sorry, not with Carlos, but with Al called Funky. Funky said, I am live. I'm live, bruh. Watch what you say. I'm live. I can't cut you out right now. And he kept talking.
So
how was that fair?
You were not a Fox Soul fan at all. You never watched the show.
I never really watched the show. Like if I saw clips of the show, maybe it was on like to keep it like 100, like on YouTube. The only people that I really follow are like you. I follow oh my God, Scotty. You know, and a couple other, things that I'm into.
Let me ask you this before I let you go, Negla. Are you a Nene Leakes fan?
No. Horsey?
I know a lot of oh Jesus. I know a lot of people like Claudia because of still that her versus Nene. I know a lot of people didn't like her from that. And then
I didn't like Claudia because she was a mean girl. And I've dealt with mean girls all my life. I've always been overweight. I've had thick glasses. You can see them. Thick glasses, you know what I mean? And, dark skin. And in the 80s, that just wasn't the person to be, So
Claudia is maybe like the phenotype of the type of person that you don't like.
You know what? I will say, but I did try to give her a chance. That's the thing. I did try to give Claudia a chance. But it was like time after time, like when she did the stand-up comedy, and she was like, oh, it's just jokes. And she was like, us white women. Now, one thing I will say, can I just please real quick? I just want to say, if my husband is well, he says Caucasian, not white, but my husband is Caucasian. This is my thing. If we were to have ever had a child, I'm 47, that shit passed. But if we had a child, that child would be black and white. So whatever race that child identifies with, I respect that child, our child's decision to identify with that race. However, to say or to deny one part of your race or the other, that's where I have my problem with Claudia. Her mother was white, and she said, oh, my mom raised me black. No, your mom didn't raise you black. Your mom raised you as a white woman who was dealing, with an interracial child or biracial child in that society.
Well, so because we really do have a long
I'm sorry, I know you got to go. Anyway,
I'll hold on one second. I'll counter that with this because I think this is an important conversation. Would you be as angry about that if Halle Berry said that?
Yes.
Okay, well then Halle
because her mother was white too. Halle Berry's mother is white.
Hold on. Where I was going with that is that's exactly what Halle Berry said. Halle Berry's mother sat her down and said, I know that you are black and white, and I am a white woman, but you present to the world as a black woman. So you're going to need to make the choice to live as a black woman. And that's what Halle Berry did for her whole life. So I think that's a very nuanced conversation that we can have at a later date.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can have that conversation, but I gotta tonight has to be about like the people who watch.
Deuces.
Thank you.
I
Negla.
respect you. Love you, ma'ams, and thank you for looking out for Mama. She got her AC. Yes, baby. I hope them super chats help on the back end with insurance.
Thank you so much, Negla. I appreciate you.
Bye, dear.
Egypt, you're up.
Hey, Mims. This is my first time being on here.
And I have to apologize for all the other first timers because this is not how this normally goes. Were you a Fox Soul fan?
Yes, it was the first show I ever watched faithfully every night.
Yeah. Okay, well, how do you feel? Because that's really what we're here. I mean, if you tell us how you feel as a Tea-GIF fan.
Well, first of all, thank you for letting me on, and just wanted to let you know you're fine as hell. But anyway, I was hoping that it would come together. I was hoping that they could put all of the bullshit aside and save face, just save face and do what they do, like on The View. We know a lot of people on The View don't like each other behind the scenes, but they do what they have to do, especially for the fans. But, when Funky left, it did seem like something not only was missing, but something might have been going downhill. And I just wish that, like I said, I just wish they could have all gotten it together. And as for your previous guest, Sean, who is a friend of Al, he was shouting out all the different people behind the scenes. Could he not shout out HR? Where is HR? We need to know the names of HR and why y'all weren't doing your jobs, because that's who really bungled this whole thing. And it makes me mad because it makes me think, it gives off the image that, and I hate to say this, that Black people don't know how to run things.
Well, it's not Black owned.
I mean, the people, not owned, but the people, behind the scenes, I'm assuming are Black. Maybe they're not.
You mean like the producers of the show and like the showrunners? They are Black, I believe.
Yeah, and like the 20 different or 30 different people he said lost their jobs, all those people. And as for Claudia going on about, going to every different, outlet and on every different channel, giving her opinion about things. I understand why she was doing it, but I think some of that may have been, could have been, held back, especially if you're trying to save the show.
So you feel like Claudia was at fault. It's okay. Like, guys, you don't have to parse your words. If you feel like somebody specifically is at fault, you can say it. It's okay. It's an open conversation.
Yeah, I just think she could have held some of that back, whereas Al is the complete opposite. And I think he could speak a little bit more because now there's a narrative growing around Al that he's messy. And I know he thinks he needs to be above it all, but once that narrative starts to grow and you don't say anything, that could be a problem.
So you think Al and Claudia were at fault to some degree?
I think they all were at fault. I think Armon, I was never a fan of Armon. And I didn't really want him to be on the show. I was rooting for T.S. Madison. But he got on the show. And
did you give him a chance?
What you say?
Did you give him a chance once he was on the show?
I did. Okay. And you know what? I still mostly disagreed with him on a lot of things, but I agreed with him on some. I still watched it every night. But when you get someone like Armon, because he's controversial and you want him to give the ratings a uptick, this can be the downside of it, what he did on the roast. It goes both ways with someone like that. And so, that's what ended up happening. I was really shocked to hear that the issue behind the scenes was Al. I just never expected that Al was the issue and that him and Claudia didn't like each other for so long. I was completely shocked by that.
This was crazy. Thank you so much for coming up, Egypt. Feel free to come up. When we do these open panels, it is definitely for you guys to share your honest, unabridged opinions.
Okay, thank you so much, Mims. You have a good one.
You too. We got Gabor, then Christy, Queen Tulsa. What's up, Gabor?
What's good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, what's good?
This is just a crazy show. What's up?
It is. Did you hear what he said? Egypt, did you hear what Egypt said?
What did Egypt just say?
Egypt said, would you get somebody like Armon up there? I wanted to know what he mean by somebody like Armon.
I think Armon is kind of like the wild card in the scenario. Right?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't really watch the show, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really watch the show. I would just see clips and stuff what was going on or whatever. You know, I just felt like once Beyonce left the group, you know, it ain't no need to really watch the show no more. But I feel like that somebody need to call defects because Claudia said that she was trying to save her baby, but she was suffocating the baby. I want to know when was she trying to save the baby? And yesterday when she posted, she kept on saying, I tried, y'all, I tried. When you went to Messy Sweet Spot?
Oh, jeez.
When would you go trying to save the baby? When you went over there to do the interview with Carlos King? At what point was she really trying to save the baby?
Oh, Jesus.
I'm just saying. It didn't seem like that she was trying to save the baby at all. She was suffocating the baby.
Mm-hmm.
She killed the baby.
I don't know. I think that there was a time between the time that the show kind of went on that hiatus till yesterday where things could have been saved. I do think that things could have been saved. I don't know. I don't agree with all of those interviews, but I can understand kind of grasping at straws because we all know Claudia is like a hustler and she wants to keep her job.
Please. Claudia was trying to kill that job. Well, I have a question. I think that y'all let Claudia get away with Claudia get away with a lot because you know Claudia went over there and said that she had forgot I can't keep up with everybody beef, but I forgot that Funky was beefing with Storm Monroe, not Flame Monroe. I forgot that Funky was beefing with Flame Monroe. But the few times I did see the show a little bit, you know, I remember Funky saying that Flame would never be on the show while he was there, and all of a sudden he left. And all of a sudden, Flame is the first guest host over there. But, I forgot that they was beefing. See, Claudia do a lot of nasty, dirty stuff behind the scene. And Claudia is no comedian. The roast was nasty. It was mean-spirited. And she wanted it to go down the way that she wanted it to go down. And remember, she called over there to the Messy Sweet Spot, and she said that Al was okay with the roast. But when she went over there and Carlos, she said that Al was upset behind the clock. She said that behind the stage, backstage, Al was livid. See, she don't be telling the truth all the time. And she killed the show. I blame her for it.
Okay.
I do.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Anything else?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Bye.
Oh, Lord. I need some Casamigos. I was not prepared. I was not prepared for this. Egypt, were you prepared for this?
No.
Christy, you're up.
Hey, Mims.
Hey.
I love your show. I love your integrity.
Even tonight?
Even tonight, yes. I love the content. Always. So just know that. Now, I come from a management background. So the BS that went on between October and now was ridiculous.
Okay.
I saw the tension with Funky when he was talking about being in negotiations of his contract. I saw the guest appearances. You know, I did not like the fact that they chose Armon because I know his background. I know that he burned bridges everywhere that he goes. I also know that with that roast, he didn't do that on his own, but that was not the end all be all. This stuff been going on for a long time. I really blame Fox because they knew the crap that was happening before we did it. They could have nipped it in the bud, but they did not, you know. And I was watching another content creator earlier today. He was stating shows go on the chopping block every 6 months. So with all the problems that was already going on behind the scenes, then the roast was probably the final straw. And I also feel with Claudia, she panicked. She panicked, and that's why she went on these different bloggers talking.
Chris, you were a fan of the show?
Yes, I was a fan of the show. I like the content.
Hold on, Christy. Did you continue watching after Funky left?
Yes, I did.
So this is what we wanted. We want people who really watch the show and have honest opinion. So do you think that, would you watch them if they went on? Well, we all know Armon has a really big YouTube channel. Would you watch if maybe Fox Soul gave Claudia and Al their own separate shows?
I would watch to see how it would go. But see, the problem I have with Claudia, she did not have ownership to her intellectual property. She said that on Carlos King's show. How have you been in the business all this time and you don't have rights to your intellectual property?
I think she
That's
said
crazy.
She had made a mistake and she didn't name the show, if I remember correctly. And
she didn't name the show, nor does she have ownership of the show. So if she goes to another network, it's gonna have to be a different name and concept.
She was posting today some of her old stuff where she was a solo host on Fox Soul. So she might go back to just doing her own solo gigs. I do think
And the thing that people don't understand about 1099s, you're still obligated to that company, even though you're an independent contractor. You still have some sort of obligations to that company. So you're not just out here just because you got a 1099, you willy-nilly. You still have some type of obligations to that company. So, you know, just because they ended the show don't mean that they done with her per se.
Fox, there are a lot of affiliates with Fox. I hope that they all can, and this is me being honest, I hope, because I'm a glass half full kind of guy, I hope that they can still keep some affiliation with Fox and maybe move on to, like, you know, I know Al does red carpet, so keep him doing that. Claudia maybe could do her own show, and Armon, he's like a firework. So if you put Armon somewhere, you know, he could interview like the rap people and stuff like that. I don't know.
Armon needs to grow up. He needs to learn professionalism. Al and Claudia, they gonna keep doing what they do. And the reason why ain't nobody heard Al speak is because he's a PR person. He's not going to go out here and tarnish his image trying to clean up something. Because it's better to be quiet than to keep talking, because you're going to mess up somewhere. So I ain't going to hold you up because I see the other people up here, but I appreciate you pulling me up. I love you. I love your show. And I'm glad you and the siblings looked out for Mom with the car, because it's fine.
All right. Thank you so much, Christy. And she is
you welcome.
Still crazy, though. She's still crazy. All right. Egypt, thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate you, Egypt.
You're welcome.
Queen Tulsa. What's
Oh,
up?
man. Am I here?
You're here, Queen Tulsa.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me up. Shout out to your mom, first and foremost. And I wanted to come and give my condolences and my eulogy for the Tea-GIF. I was a big diehard fan. I loved all of the hosts, even the co-hosts when they had to fill in, like Armon, T.S. Madison, Conscious TV, and they really gave everybody a chance, right? But what really bothers me is I think people need to understand that minding the business that pays you goes a long way in the workplace, because you have people that are in seniority, they've been there longer than you. You're just coming along. I feel like sometimes, the hype really takes over our mind. And, when the checks, get bigger in our culture is let me go out and let me stunt on my own people, the same people that helped me get here. I do feel like everyone dropped the ball, all the hosts that are involved, that's Claudia, Armon, and Al. I do feel like the workplace gossip, got way out of hand. Workplace ethics, it's like, I don't have to agree with you. I don't have to like you. But when I come and clock in, it's not about you and I. It's about that about the career and what's on the agenda for that day, and so on and so forth. I do feel like it's a time and place for everything. So that's why I encourage therapy. If you would have been going to therapy,
who needs therapy, Tulsa, from this show? Who needs therapy?
Everyone involved. Let's be honest, because I feel like that's a safe way to get it off their, get it off their mind. And instead of sending it to their coworkers, they can go in there with the anger and stuff, because their therapists know that, hey, this anger that I'm about to give you is not for you, but it's a place where you can get it out.
Are you saying they should have gone to therapy, but so to save the show?
Separate.
You mean after the show is over?
No, whenever things that were going on, because therapy would have helped them navigate through and how to interact with each other without including them in their therapy session. You see what I'm saying?
Like team building.
Yeah. Okay. Keep this out. I'm really about this. Okay. Give me 1 second. So I felt like it was no self-control at all. These are grown adults. I mean, grown adults over the age of 21, right? You don't know how to behave. You don't know how to control yourself in environments. That's why we need to get that therapy. But listen here, violation. Al's ex-wife was not to be mentioned. From my understanding, she was not to be mentioned. And whether if you knew that or not, well, if the guests knew that or not, everyone as everyone has a duty. When they clock in and they're on the job, you have a duty. And you need to show up, because okay, I may not agree with you, but I'm not going to let you just sink and fall in front of my face. You get what I'm saying? So let's get into this. This is what I'm hosting, and I listen, I might be the next contestant on Fox Soul. So this is my speech. I'm here to do what I love and meet the career expectations and utilize resources available in the professional manner. So if I'm granted that position, I would not embarrass the company. First of all, I would not embarrass myself.
Oh, so you did not just go from a funeral to telling these people they need therapy. Now you are auditioning for Fox Soul.
Oh, absolutely. They're watching. And I'm here for it. Listen here, you got a new, young, fresh correspondent live here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I don't know, but in the back of me back here, you can hear some fireworks going off. It is July the 4th. It is 9:57 p.m. July the 4th here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Central Time. But listen here, get your mugs, Queen Tulsa, and guess what? You too can grow through what you go through.
Okay, thank you so much, Tulsa. Thank you.
Oh, listen, but I kept it on topic, right?
You did. This was one of our better I needed that laugh. Thank you,
Yes.
Tulsa.
All
Thank you
right.
for coming.
Adjusting your crown. And
So-
listen here, y'all. Make sure you like the video and share it.
All right. Thank you. Bye, Tulsa.
So long.
Blue. Thank you so much, Blue, for being patient.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi. So the first thing I want to say is that I love that you're trying to point out the positive aspects of the show. Like, you know, why did we like the show? Why did we want the show to keep going on? What could we fix about the show? I think that's very interesting of you, because you do have a really popular channel, and you could have easily been an Armon spot, right? And you never know who is watching. I agree. And I think that, you never want to mess up any connections or anything like that.
No, I honestly, really quick, I do think that spot was Armand's.
Right.
Honestly. I think that was Armand's spot. Outside of T.S. Madison, I did think that he was the best person to replace.
Yeah, I thought he brought a lot of energy to the show. And I think that when it comes to Armon, a lot of people just don't like he's very unapologetic. Like some of the things that we hear when the people are coming on to voice their opinion is that they kind of censor themselves, which Armon doesn't do. He doesn't censor himself at all. And I think that's the reason why people don't like some of Armon's critiques. I do think Armon was a little immature in some ways. Anyway, I want to say that I think that a lot of it is speculation. And when it comes to Claudia specifically, I think that like some people really are like being a little bit like misogynistic when it comes to her, because like even if we go back to like Real Housewives of Atlanta, we still don't know why we don't like Claudia, except for the fact that she one of our favorites. Like, we just don't know why. Y'all don't know why I don't like
That's
Claudia.
why I like Claudia.
Yeah. Like,
why
I
I
don't know
like
why y'all don't like Claudia. Y'all just don't like that lady because she clocked one of your favorites. But what has she actually done? You know?
She nasty.
Yeah. And so I think a lot of us, like in our speculation about why the show canceled, I think a lot we project. I can fix my eyes on each and one of the castmates and look at them and then come up with some type of reason for why the show has canceled. And I think many people, when they look at Claudia, it might be misogyny. When they look at Armon, it's sort of like, oh, he's a gay man and he's talking too much and like when I watch some of Tasha K's videos, it's sort of like, oh, Claudia don't want to deal with Fs. But did she say that? When she went through that text message on her live, it looked like she did. She might have said that.
She definitely said it.
Yeah.
That word was not there. To clarify, it was just
it was not there. Yeah,
but
it wasn't the MF and N word.
One thing that I think is interesting about that is how people perceive that. Now, we do know Tasha K does say the F word, but she doesn't get the same type of backlash. Claudia said ... apostrophe S. And got a crazy amount of backlash. So why is that?
I think it's because Claudia portrays herself to be unproblematic, whereas Tasha is okay with not being, she's okay with being the bad guy. Claudia says that she's not, and she plays that role. And for the most part, there's no evidence that she actually is. And I also think there's a lot that comes with being the face of Fox Soul. Like, you're the face of, like Sean said, oh, she's the face of Fox Soul. Okay, well, there's a lot that comes with that. And then you're a woman, and then you don't own your IP, but everyone thinks you own your IP. And so people are getting fired and moved around and shifted around, and everyone's blaming you, but you don't really have. So now you got to go on to Carlos King and do damage control. And so I think that's a big part of it. I don't really have much else to say, but I do think
Were you a fan of the show?
Yeah, I was a fan of the show. I mean, I'm from Miami, so like a big part. I follow Funky where I really go, so I was really more of a fan. So he's, to me, he's Black culture in my opinion, at least Miami Black culture. So I follow him wherever he goes. But once he left, I watched it every now and then because I like Al. I support the gays and wherever they go. But not really much to say. I miss the show. I do think that the show has to implode, and I think they have to come up with something else. Armon Wiggins did post something on his Instagram with Claudia and him and someone else. I didn't know who that was, but it said "Stay tuned" or something like they were going to come up with something new. But I personally think that show, once the energy started to fizz, they need to come out with something else. It's not just going to be it was never, I don't think it was ever going to be back to normal, even with T.S. Madison, even with Flame, even with any of those. I think the show was going to fizzle out, and now they have to come back with something new. That's all I got to say, y'all. I'm drinking.
All right. Thank you, Blue. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up?
Al, you're on mute. Al, you're on mute. Al, you're on mute. Did you watch that interview with Carlos Mims?
I did.
Imagine someone saying that to you with that type of abrasion.
Imagine saying what to me?
Al, you're on mute. Al, you're on mute. Al, you're on mute. We would have to say it to him like 4 times a week. Just, Claudia is a bit much in the workplace. She is just a bit much in the workplace. She was like this on Real Housewives when it came to Ricky Smiley and Portia.
As Ricky Smiley. Sorry.
Like, she had issues with Portia at the workplace, and they actually broadcasted that on the show. Like, she just did not leave Portia alone, and she kept aggravating her and tattling about Portia to Ricky Smiley. But the thing is, Ricky, they like Portia, so it didn't work. Claudia is that type to have issues with women. She is just, I've experienced and encountered women like Claudia at the workplace. She is okay. She just does. But she's now on this show with all men that are LGBT. So you don't have to worry about being like dealing with perverts like that. I just don't get that type of pervert harassment energy off Al, off Funky, off Armon. I really don't. Furthermore, you're all on Zoom for 1 hour a week. So you, at this age, Claudia, you are over the age of 50. You cannot get along with two very separate groups of people. You cannot get along with Black women in the workplace. I don't think she would get along with non-Black women in the workplace. And you cannot get along with 3 Black LGBT men at the workplace where you work 1 hour a week, where one of the men is also biracial and in your age group. He's another person who's over 50. Al is a professional. I know people. There's some comments in your live chat, but Al just does not give that off. This man was married to Star Jones. He knows how to play the game to make that money. Furthermore, a lot of people need to understand corporate America, they do like charming Black men. Gabor, there's this one guy on your panel, and he was making some comments, but I could tell he's the type of guy that corporate America is going to like. They do. And it's only intensified since Barack Obama. If you are a Black man, it doesn't even matter if you know how to do the job. Just come in, be cool, be charming. What Black men do well is they do know how to rally a team and keep up morale so that everybody else can work and get work done. Corporate America, especially white people, they want to see that you can work together as a team. It's more than the individual. Queen also makes some very, very good points. Come in, clock in, do your job. It's more than just me. It's the team. It's the team. And what Fox wanted to see is that you have people, regardless of, this was Claudia's show, but it's an ensemble cast. You have to know how to work as an ensemble, have that chemistry. It's entertainment. Even if it's a little bit messy, still have fun. Let the audience see that and make your money. That's how you're going to bring views. I really do not have anything against Claudia. I was on the live when this whole situation occurred with Tea-GIF. I was in the live chat watching this live. I mean, Armon, it was a drag, but Armon got this information from Claudia. And I don't believe Al was even mad at Armon. He just knew that this information came from Claudia. He did, and it did come from Claudia. This did not come from Armon. Armon and Al have no issues with each other. They go party, and they're both Black male LGBT. One is a millennial, the other is Gen X. They can go off, party, do what you do, go back to work. I have personally seen Black men do know how to work together, regardless LGBT or not. Black men do know how to go to work, make that money, do what needs to be done, and go home. I have seen this. I'm just being honest with everyone, and I know the live chat's going to get mad at me. I consistently see problems with Black women coming into work and just doing the job. Consistently, I see more success with Black male LGBT and straight men, all Black, regardless if they know how to do their job or not. They do know how to go into their job and just do their work.
I will say this to counter what you're saying. There is still a glass ceiling for women. As a woman, you are aware of that, right?
Glass ceiling for what? You mean pay? That's true.
There is pay disparity, but there is a glass ceiling, even to the elevation of where you can go.
But that's not what we're discussing right now. We're discussing
that you have seen.
I'm discussing workplace dynamics. I'm talking about people coming in together as a team to do your job as one unit. That's what I'm referring to. I'm not talking about elevating at the job. I'm only referring to coming in together and work. That's what we're all getting paid to do, regardless if you're being paid through your LLC, 1099, or W-2. First and foremost, you're there in these companies to work. And you have to know how to work in a team. You're not going to be promoted if you not know how to work in a team.
Hold on 1 second. So are you saying that from your perspective, or from what you've encountered in your workplace, that Black women can't work together as a team?
To be honest with you, in all honesty, of any one group, I know it sounds bad, but I'm being honest with you, yes.
We're having an open conversation. If that, so
Yeah.
I can see,
And not just work as a team, because a lot of times I know your live chat's going to get mad at me. It's not just work as a team. It's because first I do want to say we're now talking high income, because they were all paid $250,000. That's very, and let's be honest, not that many Black women are going to encounter the 6 figures. If you are a woman,
no.
How many Black women, Black women in the live chat who make over 100,000?
Black women are the fastest growing degreed.
Okay, I'm not saying degree, Mims.
But I'm saying
about income, $100,000 income on W-2 or 1099. If you do W-2, even great. But how many? I'm just asking. Those of you in the live chat who make over $100,000 a year, first, you don't see that many Black women. You don't. I wish you did. But when you do, they have to behave better. And to see Claudia when you're making $250,000, and keep in mind, you're the only Black woman, and you're working with Black men, and you're still having these problems. That's concerning. It is concerning. For myself, I get paid, I great money. I do. And the Black women that I work with, many of them are attorneys. I make it a point to reach out to them and let it be known, if you need anything, I'm here. Small or big, I'm here. I don't in any way want you to think, I don't say that out loud, but I just make it a point to be available and also promote them. Like if there's like one young woman, she was barred. She passed the bar exam. I was the one in the live chat at work just congratulating and just saying, because it's a big deal. Also, I've noticed that when Black women do because we work really, really hard, other people do not give us the congratulations. I make it a point to do so. And when I congratulate, and I just put in the live chat, in our group chat, I notice only other Black people will like my comment. You don't see that type of like good promotion when a Black woman is successful. So I always make it a point, because I make big money. And if I'm seeing other Black women, I know they work hard. So I always make it a point to just congratulations, promote, etc., etc. I have noticed in my younger years in the past, before I started making the 6 figures, that when you see majority Black women, even those who get promoted in managerial positions, service jobs, there is a lot of bad behavior in the workplace. Very, very bad behavior. And I know people in the live chat are going to get mad. So long story short,
hold on.
Please behave. Please behave,
No,
everyone.
hey, not the people in the live chat. Me.
I know people are mad.
Here. This is another conversation that we can have. I just saw somebody tweet that went viral where she was saying, I need to know if I'm applying for the job if the boss is a black woman, because if so, I don't want it. And there were people agreeing.
That's surprising.
That was the most ignorant shit.
It's
so
not ignorant.
I'm gonna put, well, you know, everybody's allowed to have their own opinions on my channel. I'm gonna put that down on my list of conversations that we're gonna have. But we kind of have to stick to Fox Soul here. So
right, and that's why, because
hold on, no, because I literally cannot be up here all night, and I have a full backstage.
I know. I wish Claudia the best. I was there when she did the messy sweet spot. I was in that live. She looked so pretty. She was getting ready for the honeycomb. Clearly, she had her homegirls. They came on the chat. She's about to catwalk on the strip. And her black jeans have clearly worked through because she is 51 and she looks really good. And I do wish her the best, and she's in Dallas. So I just let her just continue rising through, but just Claudia, take this as a learning lesson. How just, you know, you can make this money. You're clearing $250,000. How to better just be in the workplace. That's all I'm saying. Because remember, Fox Soul, there are no black women. You know, there's no black, and
there were black producers and showrunners.
They were okay, but the face is, it's just interesting because you have, not to bring, color, but, Claudia's biracial, Al's biracial, and then we have Funky LGBT and Armon LGBT. And both of these men will happily work with light-skinned black women. So it's like she's in an environment that's very pro, quote unquote, Claudia. People who are not going to come at her, because I know Claudia's background. I've experienced what she's experienced before. So she's in an environment with people who are in a sense, quote unquote, going to uplift the preference. But she's still having issues. And when I watch that Carlos King interview and I'm hearing some of the things that she's saying, like the Al, you're on mute, that's going to aggravate people. You can't, you have to be mindful of how you speak to other people, regardless of race. But you can't just come at people abrasive. Because I know my character. I know how I speak to people. And sometimes you have to kind of, Gabor, you know me on your live chat. Your panel doesn't even like me, Gabor. Gabor, you know me they don't like me. Fine. And I had to keep it low. I had to be mindful. Level 4. I understand that. So if you know that you have a certain personality, Gabor, me and your panel, I have a certain personality, be mindful of it and pick and choose your battles. Because Gabor's panel, I'm not getting paid. But Claudia, you're getting paid $250,000, 1 hour a week on Zoom. What's like Queen Tulsa said, what is pick and choose? How do you want to move when you have a great gig and it's your baby? And Gabor, you're right. She smothered the baby.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then you got Gabor start. Hey, thank you so much. I have a full backstage, but in terms of what you were speaking of,
CDE, learn to behave at the workplace. I'm not saying anything incorrect. All of you who disagree with me, I said nothing correct. Okay, I'll go. Bye, Mims. I'll go. I know. I'll leave.
Okay. Well, I'm tired. Guys, we're gonna have to. No more filibustering. I have lost control. No more filibustering. We got Rodney and Savannah, and guys, I see you guys in the background. I also have CDE, Twins Vanity, Essence, and T Davis. We're gonna get to everybody before we leave, but Savannah and Rodney, you're up.
Hey, Mims. Hey, panel.
Hey.
Oh, that was a lot. And not only did she smother the baby, she left the baby in the back seat of a hot car in Dallas, Texas.
Don't be coming up here.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
Not be coming up
Yes,
here.
she did.
With Gabor. Savannah, I thought we were better than this.
We are better than this, and I miss you. And
Savannah, she was beating the pillow. She was beating the pillow when she put it over his face.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh my God, Savannah.
And then she pulled the white woman card. I forgot my baby. Save my baby.
Oh,
I am, or I was a day one fan of Fox Soul. So I'm a soulmate to the core. I watched them, especially during C19. They helped me get through um, school and everything, get through that isolation time. So the three of them, the three original ones, Funky, Al, and Claudia, they had a chemistry that was missing from this second set here. I was not a fan of Armand being selected. I thought it should have went to T.S. Madison, although she can be extra.
Savannah,
And I am
Savannah, you're gonna have to talk up a little bit. People can't hear you.
okay. I'm sorry. So I was not a fan of Armand being selected for the position because I think he is not well versed with hot topics, and I don't think Armand does his homework. I think he's a little lazy or just laser centered on some topics, but he didn't bring much to the discussion or the panel. So and I don't want to say he wasn't educated. I just don't think he was invested in what was really going on. um Al Al kept it very professional, even finding out that he was suspended for defending Nene because of Claudia going back and reporting it to HR or whatever. We didn't know about that, and he still came back on the show as what we seen in the front of our screens. They kept it professional and they kept it moving. Once Funky left, I just knew that it was not going to be the same, regardless of who they put in that seat, because you needed chemistry, and these three didn't. Armand, Al, and Claudia clearly did not have the chemistry that was needed to carry the show. I did give Armand a chance. I seen it a couple times, but I was turned off completely, but by what I was seeing, because there was a clear tension between Claudia and Al, and I thought that they did a disservice to their viewing audience. So
So hold on really quick, Savannah. So you didn't give Armand a shot because there was tension between Al and Claudia?
no, I watched it. Armand quickly turned me off because he didn't have much to offer to the conversation, regardless of what it was. And then he always came with the one thing about Funky is very smart. He's intelligent, he's quick-witted, and and regardless of what the conversation was, he always had something to bring to the table. Armand did not have that same draw. Like, it was just, and I tried to like him, and it just didn't mesh well together. And then some of the topics that he presented, especially him saying he was a Trump supporter but didn't know much about politics, and they had a lot of conversations when it came to politics. I just wish he did his homework a lot more, and he didn't. So it turned me off. But when I seen there was a visible dynamic between a negative dynamic between Al and Claudia. Um, I would say earlier part of this year, and it just kept growing, and it was visible to the viewing audience. So I blame them, but I really think that this was Claudia's doing, because she, and this idea, let's truth is, she stole this from Nene from day one. This was Nene's idea, and we all remember that hot mess, but this was always Nene's idea.
You're
Claudia just
talking about the reading room now, Savannah. Now, Savannah, I
that's
know you've been
true.
around for a while.
That is true. That
You're
is
talking
true.
about the reading room where Nene had multiple gay men snapping their fingers and doing this. They gave a housewife type intro, and then they did this. Do you really think that was actual concept, Savannah?
I do believe Nene was trying to get into other spaces. I do.
Was that an actual Savannah?
I've always believed that that is the concept of what they were trying to do. Because if you recall, Gary with the T was on there as well in the beginning. If you are a true soulmate, you recall Gary was there until Ricky told him he could no longer. He had to choose which show to be on.
Okay.
It was just I mean, Funky even brought the hand back. We all knew what the hand meant when Funky used to do it at the intro of every Fox Soul TGIF show on Fridays. Because if you recall, it was just only on Fridays. So it was a concept I believe it was something an idea that
Savannah,
Claudia
I hate to do this to you. I hate to have to do this to you, Savannah. You think that this was equivalent to Fox Soul?
You know what?
Talking about the
I heard you describe it.
Nene Leaks, and I know you've heard me talking about the session, honey. Yes. Well, I found my readers, honey, right here in Atlanta, Georgia, and we're gonna be talking about all the hot topics.
Well, didn't Claudia find her readers in Atlanta, Georgia?
Blog, okay. Welcome to the reading session. I thought a high bitch said something. No one knew you until you knew me.
When you're looking for the light in the room, just know I'm the brightest in the room. Reading class 101 is always a session because I stay reading the bitch.
They say I'm too much, but the truth is they will never be enough.
If you're coming for a read, sit back and watch me lead.
We're now in session. So, guys, what do you
You think that was
Oh, I miss her. Mims, that is I still believe that concept came from that right there. Yes. You're hating on Nene. You're a Kenya fan.
No. If Kenya had done this, I would be like, what is this?
But in all seriousness, just because I know you still got a few more people, and Rodney's on here as well, and I love to listen to Rodney. But I think the rose was the straw that finally broke everything, as everyone is saying. But because it was mean spirited, and it was personal. And if we come to really look at that rose violated company policy and of harassment and discrimination. And Fox is not Bravo. Fox is not going to play. They gave them this opportunity and they dropped the bag. So
Okay.
it's unfortunate.
Thank you so much, Savannah. I had forgotten about that Nene clip. You just made my night. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Rodney, you're up.
Hello, how are y'all?
I've been better.
Can you hear me? Can you hear the fireworks in the background?
No.
Okay, thank God. Okay. So this is the only thing I have to say. I did not watch TGIF. I do remember tuning in a couple of times when it first started, like with Gary with the T, and then I tuned in a couple of times with Funky, tuned in a couple of times with Armon, but I was not like a watcher of the show. This is all I have to say. It's giving ghetto, and I'm gonna tell you why. It sounds like that, like that company that has someone who's in charge, and then they start to hire their cousins and then like their best friends, but nobody is really an expert. Like the girl in human resources, she probably was like the manager at the dollar store. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's giving the people that were in charge, the producers, human resources, talent, they had no idea how to run a company. And that's why the company is no longer around. Because look at who you had in charge. There is no reason that you cannot sit your black ass at your home on a Zoom call and do your job for an hour and make $250,000. You ain't got to put no pants on. All you got to do is go to your closet, find a button down, a baseball hat, and sit your ass down in front of your phone and talk about hot topics.
I don't have on any right now.
I don't never wear pants in my videos. Hello?
And then according to Claudia, you didn't even have to clean up because they said that she was taking pictures of funky dirty house and sending them to her friends.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Sit in front of a green screen. That's it. And you mean to tell me that 3 grown ass people can't even do that? I think it's fault to go around to everybody. I don't think that Armon's roast was the reason why the show ended. But I also don't understand why the people in charge allowed Armon to get down to the internet and say at least 25% of the stuff that he said he shouldn't have said. You mean to tell me the producers didn't go over the roast with him? You mean to tell me human resources didn't step in and say, no, you can't say that because they don't need to know that? No one stepped in and said, no, you can't say that? Why? How is it that Al and Claudia are beefing and Claudia lives in the South? Girl! And Al lives, girl, on the West Coast. What are y'all beefing about? Did y'all have to go to work today in the office? What are you beefing about? What is Armon's problem with Al? Armon was at the job for 72 hours. I just saw y'all hanging out the other day. What happened from the time they started hanging out to the point where they started beefing? And you only been at the job for 2 days. It sounds like Claudia did get in his ear. Because you don't even know that man like that to be beefing. And Al don't know Armon to be beefing like that either. So what is the real problem? You were not on that job that long for it to be an issue with anybody. And that's just the truth. And it's absolutely, and I'm pissed off like it's my money. It ain't even my money. But it makes no sense that you have Armon pushing 40, you have Claudia who's over half a century old, you have Al who's over half a century old, and they cannot go to work and just do their job, get their coin, and go on by their business. I don't work with hoes I didn't like for $10 an hour. You think I can't work with a bitch I don't like for $250,000?
Jesus.
It's ridiculous. It doesn't matter whose fault it was, who started it. The point of the matter is they all had their hands in the pot. Some probably messier than others, but they all had something to do with it. And it's just sad. It's sad. If you can't go to Bella Noche, then where can you go? If you can't take your ass to your couch and make $250,000, then where can you go?
It's definitely sad. I keep saying this, seeing them, because they weren't just on YouTube. It's aspirational to think that they were on 7 different streaming platforms. It's aspirational for anybody who is in this space to see somebody. We laugh at Tubi. Tubi's big, and Tubi has stood the test of time. So they may have cheap stuff, but they also have other type of programming, such as Fox Soul, which is a Fox affiliate. That is a big deal, and I don't think enough people see that. When I said it was aspirational, people were in the chat laughing. I'm like, why do you 7 different networks? It would have been a blessing to have even got the week where you were on 7 different networks. You know what that opens you up to new audiences that you couldn't hope to reach just on YouTube. So
I hear you. I'm just, that's all I really had to say. Like I said, I didn't watch the show. It really doesn't matter. If you watch it or not. I'm looking at it from a standpoint of how do you lose that type of money with the job that you have. You ain't climbing up the side of some downtown building trying to wash the windows. You ain't trying to build the World Trade Center. You know what I'm saying? You really are just sitting down in your living room or wherever you are in the world, just doing a job talking about hot topics. That's all you're really doing.
Right.
You will never get that type of money doing that type of job again. Well, I'm not gonna say they won't, I'm not gonna say they won't. But it's gonna be it's just giving everybody at Fox Soul was ghetto and unprofessional and hood and gutter snipe. And y'all don't know how to run a business and y'all don't know how to take y'all black asses to work and work. That's what it's giving. It's giving Dollar Store meets Family Dollar meets Dollar General.
Okay, I just went ahead and brought everybody else up because I can't do this all night. I think somebody
dropped the bag.
somebody has.
Thank you so much, Savannah.
T. Davis.
I had forgotten about that meeting.
Maybe turn us off in the background, and I can't
Thank
mute.
you. You're welcome. Rodney, you're up.
T. Davis, you have when you're not speaking.
I'll be better. Can you hear me? Can you hear the fireworks in the background? No.
I'm gonna have to.
Okay, thank God. Okay. So,
Ma'am, you gotta cut with these people. Their background. Ma'am, this live is sending me tonight. I am. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. This live is the key tonight. But I agree with.
I'm glad you enjoyed it because I didn't.
Ma'am, you need to hire me to be a moderator because these people, there's many of them are starting off strong, but then by the end, whoever that was, Al on mute was given very much anti-black. You should have asked her what her
Hold
race.
on. No, hold on.
Is
CD.
she a black woman?
Hold on. CD, we can't do that. So, for the remainder of the time that we're up here, because I cannot do this for hours and hours and hours. Tell me how you feel about the Fox Soul situation, not necessarily the other caller.
Yeah, so I was a fan of Fox Soul from the outset for the most part. I'm part of the Funky Bunch and rock with Funky, despite all of his many indiscretions over the years, if you will. I pretty faithfully watched the show through, I want to say, early 2023, so I had kind of stopped watching it long before Funky left, really. Just because, I mean, I don't know how old people are who have been following this, but I'm old enough to have been following Claudia's career. And she, as you've all said, is 51 years old. So she's been in the game for well over 20 years. And to me, her MO is very much what we've seen come out. I don't know how many people remember Claudia has had several shows over the years. She did Tiny Tonight years ago, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just, she's always had an air of inauthenticity to me. I was really excited for
inauthenticity.
I do. I feel
like authenticity. I was like, oh, we finally get a nice one. No, continue.
No, I think she's very, I mean, she's very beautiful. I think that obviously she's very talented at putting concepts together, but how this has all played out to me shows that her energy as a boss is not there. I mean, namely the fact that she had no ownership of the show. For her to be as long in the industry as she has been, and she's making those kind of moves at this juncture, just I was gobsmacked when she told Carlos that earlier this week. So there's that, and then I do agree with Rodney that they all had a hand to play. I'm not really familiar with Armon. Really, I don't follow him as well, so it didn't matter to me when he came. But I had already kind of caught out of the show and was kind of in and out by the time all of this drama started. But I do feel that towards the end here, obviously there were issues with Claudia and Al well before Funky left. She's mentioned that Funky was the peacemaker in terms of why Funky left. There's all this narrative about what he said. Claudia and Al have corroborated that Funky's story about why he left the show being solely about his rate is as true. So anything else, I'm just kind of tired of seeing all of that rhetoric around Funky Dineva and his departure. But obviously, he was a big part of the success of the show. When he left, obviously the ratings were not there. I do agree that the show was going to end regardless of if this had happened. They were coming to the end of this contract. I don't think it was going to be renewed, and I just feel like this whole situation just escalated what was already completely inevitable. I think that it's unfortunate that it has been so publicly messy with them all being, I mean, Claudia is biracial, but you know, a show built up around people of color, if you will. To me, Claudia does not have what it takes to lead a show, hence is why she went from being a solo show on Fox Soul. So all of this rhetoric around her being the face of the network of Fox Soul, I don't agree with that, because she started with a solo show. It moved to Queens of Cocktails, and then it moved to TGIF. So obviously her talent is in, concepts and ideas. Her business acumen needs support, clearly. Not having IP, not having ownership, not even being an EP. They made the same amount. So all of this rhetoric around Al wanting to be Claudia or have her spot, like what spot are people talking about when Claudia made the same salary as all of them and had no ownership of anything? So
Well,
what exactly would Al
think,
have been?
Do you think there's a learning curve, CDE? Like not everybody, I didn't really turn YouTube into a business. I've been upfront with you guys about that.
Are you 51 years old? You have not been in the industry for 25 years, man. Obviously you're building a platform, and I would hope that you aren't making the same, when you start as an entrepreneur in content and IP and creative, of course you make mistakes. I would hope that if you are around, and we hope that you are 20 years from now, you own the IP of your creation. Like let's call it what it is. Like for her to be making those moves, clearly there's something lacking with her business. And does she not have enough money to be advised on the base? A trademark is the basic 101 creative to own your trademark. So I don't want to belabor this idea of dragging Claudia. She does obviously have talent. She will be fine, but her behavior with all of that behind the scenes and then this back and forth mess clearly shows to me that she does not have what it takes to be a boss, because there have been many panel shows with behind the scenes issues, The View, all of this stuff, and Tamar was booted from The View or The Real for whatever that reason was, but the Real continued to become an Emmy-winning show. So one person should not. So my point is, if she's a boss, her behavior and her energy, even during this, after the roast, shows to me that she does not have boss behavior. Because why would she be?
Play my part. You tell me when to talk. Because I
Davis,
know you run the show, so I'm being respectful. You tell me when to talk. I'm ready to go.
Is that you, T Davis? T Davis, is that you?
Yeah, that's so.
T Davis, I don't think T Davis can hear us.
Damn, I can't hear you, bro. Hold on.
Okay, I'm gonna pull you back down to you, but I'll definitely pull you back up. I brought everybody up because I can't do this all night. This was a lot. I wanted everybody to be able to get their own, feelings. I know a lot of you guys watch the show. A lot of you guys are fans. This conversation took a shift that I did not expect, but that's okay. That's life, and that's reality. If some of the Fox Soul people see this, maybe they can work on, different programming based on what people want to see. But with an ensemble cast, it's always going to be
messy,
different opinions, messy, but we like a little bit of mess. Twin, go ahead and jump in.
Okay, I've been a fan. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, hi everybody. Mims, I've been following you for quite some time now. Rodney with the voice and Gabor. All of y'all are crazy in your own way, and I love it all. First of all, I've been watching this TGIF from the beginning. I was there when Gary with the T actually left the show and gave his reason why. I was there when Claudia, Al, and Funky talked about how the show concept and their dynamic first started, I guess,
elevating to a point where they were actually willing to do a show together at Cynthia's wedding.
Mm-hmm.
I was there when Funky and Al had their issue, when Claudia and Funky had their issue over, the women's rights things. And I started seeing a decline because Al and Claudia used to go out and drink and party and hang out all the time in the beginning. Then slowly, close to Funky leaving, that's when the shift happened. What I do believe is when everything fell apart after Funky left, Claudia was hurt. She got in her feelings and she was pissed off because I guess she felt that her and Funky were in a better place than where they had been. What I think she did was she started talking shit about Funky to Al. Al relayed the messages. A dog that carry a bone, bring a bone. Every time. So when Claudia started peeping game that Al is being messy as well, and Al has called his own damn self messy. And he's a part of the LGBTQIA whatever plus community anyway. So the biracial shit has nothing to do with the dynamics of the group. I think what happened was two messy motherfuckers got together, started talking. She realized that she was under fire. And then they had to start doing the rotating chairs. I never liked Armon. I don't like Armon. I will not like Armon. I don't give a damn what anybody says. Armon has always been messy, trashy, ghetto, and hood.
Hold on. Oh, I know we can have
From the time he worked for T.S. Madison, Mims. Come on, let's be real. We straight shooters, right?
Straight shooters, but I don't want we're straight shooters.
This is just my opinion. This has nothing to do with Mims and his channel, okay? But ever since he worked for T.S. Madison, when he left and him and Tasha K started that mess with T.S. Madison, I never did like him after that. It was trash. So when they had different people on there, I would watch it still. But once he started auditioning for it, when he first came on, and then he finally got the spot, I was turned off of Tea-GIF, and I already saw the end coming. I saw it coming because everything started falling apart and going right down the rabbit hole when Foxy left. Because of how he left. Even I think Claudia ran to the media the way she did and started hitting up everybody.
Who's in the car?
I have no idea.
Hold on.
Oh.
It's okay.
But the way everybody started, when Claudia started spiraling, I think what it was is she was scrambling, trying to get in front of the story because everybody always wants to blame her specifically for everything that ever happens. When in fact, everybody was all in it. All the mess happened because three messy people got together and three messy people couldn't keep it together. Funky was the glue to Tea-GIF, period. When he left, everything started to unravel. And everybody is at fault. Production, human resources, the showrunners, the host, even some of the guests that came on there and was mentioning Star Jones. They were wrong. Like everybody has a disclaimer before they get on a show, period. You know what you can and cannot say, what you can and cannot do, how you can and cannot dress. How did they not know? And then the Sean dude that was up here first, Mims, how did he know what Claudia was texting in her phone?
You gotta ask Sean.
He don't like Claudia. But he was not hanging over her shoulder unless he her man. He don't know what was in her phone because he wasn't privy to that conversation. She could have been telling Lunel to shut the fuck up.
Touche.
She could have been the one that's like, hey, stop, don't say that, quit. And when Lunel looked down and was like, oh, well, let me stop, because she did do that. Oh, well, oh, okay, my bad. Let's just, okay, we're gonna leave it like that. That's what Lunel did. So who's to say Claudia and this, hey, shut up. We can't talk about that. Nobody knows what was in Claudia's phone because nobody was texting with Claudia's fingers. Al is never gonna be the only victim in the whole situation. Everybody was wrong. Everybody.
Thank you so much, Twins Vanity. What I was trying to say is I do have a certain amount of respect for other content creators. So even though that was your opinion, when it comes to just flat out like name calling, I don't really allow that on my channel, just as a matter of respect. Because if it were the other way around and somebody had like a panel discussion and people were, not saying you did this, but like, let's say they were saying, Mims is ugly or Mims is this or Mims is that, you just want to have just a certain level of decorum, even if you're talking about situations with other content creators. It just makes it more of a safe space for all of us to keep having these conversations without, necessarily starting beefs or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Okay, let me just clear it up. I wasn't downing Armon as a person. I don't know the man as a person. But his actions, from what has played out in the media, what he has shown on TGIF, what he's shown on his own channel, it's messy. And it's trashy. I'm not calling him trash, but his actions and his antics are trash. So I'm not downing him as a person or a content creator. But the stuff that you do always proceeds before somebody can meet you. Word of mouth is everything. And if somebody can say, oh, Mims is ugly, Mims is this, Mims is that, prove it. Do you see what I'm saying? He's proved who he was. Like he's proved what kind of content he likes to disperse. And his people might love it. I'm not here to judge. I just don't enjoy it. I don't like it. I think it's just wrong. Like, you can't call a man out and then say that, oh, well, everybody was fine. You could tell in that roast, Al was not fine. He went from the Jolly Green Giant smile to the Caillou smile, a flat line in his face.
Okay, hold on.
Anybody who's in the room can see that.
Hold on one second. Chanel's reality says that Sean went in on Claudia. Actually, I think I countered Sean's points. I allowed him, like I allowed everybody to come up and say whatever they want to say because it's a free panel that anybody has the ability to do that on. However, if there's something that needs to get countered or even just having a dialogue, I do that. So no, Sean didn't call her ugly or anything like that. He has his own grievances with her. And just like I told you guys, just because Sean told me something does not mean that I chose to relay that, because I don't have the same issues with Claudia.
That's why we love you and your content. That's why we ride with you till the wheels fall off, because you don't take sides. You don't choose and cherry pick who and what you're going to talk about because this is my friend. That's why we love you and your content. That's why the straight shooters always have your back.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't know how much longer because we got
your mom and her new car and her air condition, and keep her close because I lost mine in 2022 and it's not fun.
I'm really sorry you went through that, and I'm gonna have we're gonna have to talk about that in the members only live because I'm having some clear issues with my mom, and it's kind of like fucked me up. But that's like reality, and that's not what we're on right now.
Well, that's why I'm a member, but I'm gonna go ahead and jump down. But love you guys. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you. I can't remember if it was Essence or Q that was next. Essence, have you already spoke?
No, but I'm going to make it brief. I first want to say that mess is not exclusive to a sexuality, male or female. So there's that. But when you are a visionary and you have an idea and you're selfless in providing that idea, and willing to make things, you know, carte blanche as far as it being straight down the line is going to come with some resistance within the crew. I feel like the only issue with what happened with TGIF is that they got too familiar with one another. Yes, they were in relationship with one another. However,
Essence, who is that? What is that noise? What was that noise? Did y'all hear that?
I heard it too, but it wasn't me.
Okay.
I felt that they got too familiar with one another and they didn't know how to step back from it, because they were too close or whatever, and it got too personal. If they were able to keep it professional, the show would still be on and nobody's money would be affected. But because feelings was hurt and egos were bruised, this is where we are now. As you can see, Claudia took down her statement from her page, and it was just a story now. So I think she's doing some thinking before making her next move. And I just pray that, again, she's not going to be reacting off of emotion, but just a clear, concise way of going forward, regardless of what happened, to have this door closed. You know, she's a hustler. She'll make something happen. She'll get with James DeBose on his network or somebody else's network and you know, pitch some ideas, or, you know, get back to the to be acting, you know, because there might be a 2 or 3 to the movie that she did when she, you know, pang that the Sun. So there's that.
That's the nicest thing I've ever heard you say, Essence.
Don't do that. I'm a nice person. Don't do that. That's not funny, man. That is not funny.
So you came as Essence, not Chanelica tonight.
Good night.
All right. Thank you so much, Essence.
No problem.
Go ahead and burn the channel down.
Good evening. So I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to say, so I don't watch. I watch it probably like a couple times, right? But
a lot of people watch the clips that come up.
Yeah, more so the clips, like the clips that went viral, because it just wasn't. I don't know. Every topic I didn't care about, like a lot of stuff that happens in entertainment. But I will say this: I think that it's amazing to me that these people get these kind of jobs, making this kind of money, and they always find a way to mess it up. Like it's very rare that you come across. Well, let me not say that, but you know, it's hard to come across something making that kind of money and for it to be on the air that long. I'm sure they didn't make that
long run. That's a long run in the business.
Yeah, like I'm sure they didn't make that money when they started off, but then as the show got more popular and more years went by, they started making, you know, the high 250s or whatever they were making, plus whatever they had outside of that show because of that show, whatever endorsements they may have had that we are now privy to. So it's crazy that they mess those things up because they can't get along, but you only working for an hour a day or 2 hours a day, whatever it is, on Zoom. You don't actually have to see the person that you don't like. And if they talk and you don't like them, you can go on mute or you just don't have to say nothing at all. And like turn your camera off, you know, something like, and y'all having issues behind the scenes. There's no such thing as having issues behind the scenes. We making $250,000. There's no such thing. And we working an hour a day and I don't have to see you. I don't understand that. But I knew once Funky left the show that the show was going to get canceled. I don't know. I mean, you know, I ain't going to go in on nobody, but Claudia is a piece of work. And I think it was hard for her to work with some gays. That's all I'm going to say about Claudia.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, you didn't burn the channel down today, Q.
Not today. I could.
Bonji, go ahead and burn us down.
Hey, Mims.
Hey. Bonji,
You know?
sounds all sweet and nice, and then all of a sudden, go ahead. Go ahead.
You know, I was a huge fan of the show.
Mm-hmm.
After following another content creator, I then found.
Hold on 1 second. Is Claudia in the chat? Why do people keep telling me to invite Claudia up? Is she in the chat? Does anybody know? Anybody on the panel know? Oh, it is Claudia.
It is?
I guess so. She's always welcome to come up. I don't know that she will, but I dropped the link if Claudia wants to come up. You can continue, Bonji.
That'll be interesting.
So, I enjoyed the ensemble cast. I enjoyed each of them having different perspectives on topics. Um, it it became my nightly program that I watched because they covered things that I would in the past get from watching Wendy, which are hot topics. But I remember them doing the roasts when they started doing the roasts for birthday. And I remember thinking at the time when they did one for Funky, and Claudia kept talking about she doesn't do SHIT behind a dumpster. You know how Funky would tell them some of the shenanigans you would get into, and then
do something behind it? I don't know. What are you
no,
talking?
Funky has a story of him using the bathroom behind a dumpster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So those type of things would then be used maybe during the roasts. And then another thing that I noticed was when you remember Funky would say, I think he's trying to make himself a better person or something. He had that phrase.
Okay.
Because they were saying he's drinking a lot after the show, and that became a little of an issue between her and Funky because and any chance she got, she would bring that up in their banter with the show. And then Al, to be honest with you, I don't think Al is as innocent as we all thought or think he is. Something happened between Al and his relationship with production that maybe ended up making the other ensemble cast members uncomfortable. Because in the roast, Armon does mention something about Al having a connection with management. What I 100% have an issue with, Fox is an affiliate of Fox that owns Fox News.
Okay.
Their latest addition to Fox and I think Fox Soul is DJ Academics. And we're leading up to an election year.
Okay.
So it would have been in Fox great interest to have a show on their network that has 3 people of color, 2 people that are LGBTQIA plus, and people that could bring different perspectives. Because already the show had a huge following. But then when Funky left,
hold on, really quick, Bonji, because I'm not following. Are you saying that because DJ Academics supports Trump and Fox is now supporting DJ Academics, it would have been the counter to have 3 people, 2 LGBTQ plus and 1 black woman actually discussing politics? Is that what you're trying to, is that the connection or the correlation you were trying to make?
Well, not necessarily, but also the perception of having people of color, because Fox News and as a company, let's say New York, Washington, D.C., they don't have as many people of color on their staff who are reporting. It's usually blonde women of a certain size. There was a Fox reporter years ago whose name was Shepard Smith. He was gay, but did not release that he was actually gay. He had been on Fox for years, maybe even 20 years, that he was gay until he left. So they don't have a diverse pool of talent. So since DJ Academics is pro-Trump, with us in this political season, TGIF would have brought a different perspective to whatever issues are being discussed concerning the election. So I'm just juxtaposing them.
So are you saying that you are sad, for lack of a better term, that TGIF isn't there to add their spice to this political commentary?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? I'm trying to follow.
Yes, because I believe that the more diverse voices you have talking about issues that impact our community, the better it is, because then people are getting information from different types of channels on YouTube, different types of programs. And if you notice, around the time that Fox Soul got rid of the ensemble of the women that Claudia was also on, they also got rid of some of their male male-led talent.
Okay.
Who had very good shows and informative shows on Fox Soul.
Hold on really quick, because the chat is not necessarily following, but what I do hear that Bonji is saying is Bonji tuned into more than just TGIF and Cocktails with Queens. She is a focus group in herself. Y'all aren't hearing that because you're wanting her specifically to say, you know, who was right and who was wrong and all of this mess and drama. But what she's telling you is she was actually a avid watcher of more than just what the majority of us watch, which was Cocktails with Queens and TGIF. Is that fair to say, Bonji?
Yes, and to give them a little context, I'm actually a trained journalist. Have done both print.
Portia?
Huh?
Like Portia?
Portia who?
Portia Williams?
No, I'm an actual one, Mims.
Okay.
If Portia has worked for Thomas Reuters, then we can talk. If she hasn't even seen the logo, she can keep it moving. Anyway,
oh, go ahead and take us home really quick, because it's been 2.5 hours and I don't
okay, so the first thing where I think things went wrong is they should have tried to keep Funky, even for a short time, to give themselves an opportunity to find a replacement. 2, so a lot of people mentioned it. Where is human resources? Where was Joyce, the person who was meant to be producing the show? Because they talked about Joyce all the time. Oh, we're going to get in trouble with Joyce. Where was Joyce when Joyce was needed? 3, how could Armon go on the show with the content that he had written? Didn't the producers look over it to make sure that what was being said was within the parameters of what they've agreed on when it comes to the roasts? And lastly, I agree with you, Mims, that Claudia went on social media that fast because she wanted to create a certain narrative. And when she went on Carlos's show, because they have a relationship, a friendship, he did not ask her questions that someone else would have asked her. Because I agree, she's been on so many different organizations trained by Jamie Foxx. But it seems like when it comes to interpersonal relationships, whether in the workplace or elsewhere, there are some challenges there. And with Al, I don't know what his degree is in, but some of his mispronunciations and getting the facts wrong, statistics wrong, all those things, they do not really lend
Oh,
lend a lens to him as someone who is on top of or is doing research before coming on the show.
Y'all have effectively read the dog shit out of everybody on this cast. Like, where?
And if Sean thinks that, they can take this somewhere else, away from Fox Soul, none of them own Jack. That program is owned probably by the network now, because even though Claudia says she came up with the concept and then got everybody else involved, the first thing you do is incorporate the name, so you own it. And
Yes,
then when,
but
and
Banji,
then when,
hold on, Banji. But like I
Mhm.
said, everything is a learning curve. If that's not what your business is, like my business is procurement and accounting. Coming on into this space, there is a learning curve. I feel like in certain situations, maybe because some of us are, subject matter experts on certain things involving the business, the expectation is that everybody knows that. And I don't think that everybody does. And I don't think that, everybody moves at the timeline. We would like to think that everybody comes into these things and knows just what to do and how to produce and how to effectively market and brand ourselves, but there is a learning curve.
I understand, but for somebody who's been in the media landscape for as long as she has been, and you mentioned the show that she was doing by herself, registering that or copywriting that would have been the first thing that I would have thought of, because at least she had done a show in this media. And then the last thing, Mims, I'll say is Al starting his YouTube channel after his ex-wife already has a TV show where she's a judge, and then he starts his YouTube channel, and his YouTube channel also is him in a robe talking to his panel about issues that are going on in Hot Topics.
Okay.
It's boring as hell.
Oh Jesus.
There is no way Al can carry a show by himself. I tried to watch his show with the.
I watch his show.
Yeah, no.
I do watch his show.
Half the time I was about to snooze off, and then I said, "No, let me change to somebody else." That's how boring it is.
Well, that is the spice of life. There are ensemble.
Boring is the spice of life, Mims.
No, everybody has like a different opinion. Everybody has what they deem to be interesting or whatever. Everybody doesn't like me. Everybody doesn't like this channel, and that's okay. That's the whole point of us even coming on and talking like this, because that is technically the spice of life in an ensemble cast. And we'll end with this. I watched The View specifically.
Yes, I did
not like Meghan McCain, and I like seeing my faves interact with Meghan McCain and get her the hell together. I did not like Kim Zolciak on Housewives of Atlanta, and I liked when my faves on the show got her together, which would be Nene and Kenya at that particular reunion. I don't see why this iteration of people, whether with Armon or Funky, could not have worked. That is what I will be listening for when everybody tells their side. And now seeing what Sean had to say, I don't think there will be really a space where Al is going to technically really speak on this. I will be interested and I will be tuned in if Claudia does go back to Carlos King and gives us more details, because it sounds like Armon was willing to do one of, Armon is known to put it out there. It sounds like Armon was willing to do that yesterday, and then this morning he had a change of heart. Claudia is the only person who says that she is going to spill the rest of whatever this tea is. At the end of the day, I don't like it. I've said it from the beginning. I wanted them to figure something out to work this show out, and I don't take that back. Guys, I do not do 2.5-hour shows. Thank you guys for coming up. These panels are always something. This one was specifically a very hard one to do. Thank you, everybody who came up.
Thank you for having an open one, because I thought this one was going to be interesting to discuss.
It has to be open because you guys are like a focus group. I said it a long time ago. If Foxhole had watched some of these shows where we talked openly about it, it would just be like them having a focus group that they didn't have to pay for.
That's true.
I don't tell you guys how to feel. If you like who you like, I love it because I like who I like.
Yeah, but we love you because you're fair.
I try to be fair. I'm messy, kind of shady, but I do try to be fair. Thank you guys. I've had enough to go to bed. So I will see you guys tomorrow. We are doing a fundraiser for Kiki Jabbar's children.
Okay.
The family does not need anything in terms of the funeral, but she has 3 young children, and I definitely feel like we as the straight shooters, it would be great if we could give back something, maybe like $1, maybe $5. But I have to talk to Kiki's mom tomorrow, and I definitely want to do that no matter what. So tomorrow night, if you don't know who Kiki Jabbar is, she was on Love and Marriage Huntsville, and she passed away at the age of 42 with 3 small children. Even though she was on a reality show, this woman is not independently wealthy. And I definitely want those kids to know that, because some people have already said some nasty things to them and asked them some inappropriate questions. I want them to know that there are people out there who don't know you, but we see you and we care, because losing a mom at the age of 9 is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
See you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Let's put this live up because I don't even know. Bye.
Yeah, but can we conclude that it's not coming back?
I don't trust. Nope.
Let's just say it's not coming back.
Bye, y'all. Bye.